Hey, Ivy. Make sure you change the bed sheets today. It's summer, we're sweating. I can't bear the thought of going a week without changing them.
I'm sorry, I'll change them later.
Have you been slacking off recently? I understand that having a baby is hard, but you're going to have to balance both soon.
I know, but I've been lacking sleep lately. You understand, right, Aaron? Mike has been crying a lot at night. I really can't sleep.
Don't you think it's because you're not taking her out for walks during the day? They say tiring out a baby makes them sleep, right?
There's her health and the timing to consider. And I've been trying various ways to stop the night crying. Even when I do, she still cries.
But being a stay-at-home mom, you should be able to handle the housework, right? I think you're being a bit too lax. We've been having a lot of ready-made meals, and sometimes we even order delivery. You should at least make a proper meal.
Well, if you would watch Anne, I could do that.
When I come home, I want to eat right away. Why do I have to wait when I come home starving? You're home all the time. Preparing food is part of a housewife's job, right?
Take into account that we have a baby. I've only given birth 3 months ago. I've only been a mother for 3 months, so I can't be perfect right away.
Only 3 months? It's already been 3 months. I was understanding when it was 1 month, but shouldn't you be getting used to it by now? She's already past her 100th day, you know.
At least stay home on your days off. Then I can prepare meals in advance and I can focus on housework.
So, even on my days off, I don't have any freedom, even though I'm working every day.
What can I say to that? I do appreciate you working, but I'm taking care of Anne 24/7.
That's expected of a mother, right?
Isn't it expected of a father too?
Look, I'm earning money to support the two of you. And now you want me to work even more?
I'm not asking you to work. I want you to help with the child rearing.
I am doing that.
Not just interacting with her when you have free time.
What? Are you trying to pick a fight?
Well, it's true. How many minutes do you think I have to take a bath since Anne was born? Less than 10 minutes. Aaron, it's not enough to just be there playing smartphone games when Anne is asleep. I'm the one always waking up when she cries at night.
You want me, who has to work the next day, to look after her? You have the nerve to complain about lack of sleep when you can nap during the day, Ivy. On top of it, Anne's crying at night already wakes me up.
I can't just sleep whenever I want, you know.
Even so, you get to relax on the couch while holding Anne, right? You're out of line, trying to dump childcare onto me after I've worked all day. I'm doing my part, loving Anne as much as I can.
I think childcare is a responsibility for both of us. If you were away on business or something, I'd understand. But Aaron, you're home often enough.
That's why I'm tired.
I'm tired too, you know.
You're really spoiled, Ivy. There are people out there who manage to raise children all by themselves. Don't talk about not being able to balance housework and childcare when you're not even working.
Why do you say that?
Alright, enough. Talking with you will only eat into my rest time. Just remember to change the sheets. And start cooking proper meals. No shortcuts.
Aaron, please. Come home.
What? Why?
Why? Like I said this morning, both Anne and I have a fever. It's going up and I can't sleep while taking care of Anne.
If you're feverish, then Anne should be quiet too, right?
She starts crying right away, so I have to hold her.
I don't want to go back to a house full of germs. What am I supposed to do if I catch your cold? I have an important presentation next week. I can't afford to get sick.
Then take us to the hospital. Bring out the car.
It's Saturday today. Regular clinics are already closed.
There's an emergency hospital. I have a fever of 102.2 degrees Fahrenheit. Anne also has a high fever.
Then stop texting and rest quickly.
I can't. That's why I'm asking for your help. You're just out having fun on your day off, aren't you? Why won't you come home?
Listen, Ivy. The reason I'm out is that you're sick and can't make lunch. Can't you see that I'm going out of my way to let you rest? I'm trying to keep it quiet so you can rest.
Aren't you supposed to take care of me and Anne when we're sick?
What do you mean by supposed to? Don't force your standards on me.
Anne's suffering too, you know.
It's not like everything gets resolved once I come home. You're being too persistent.
I'm not going to rely on you anymore.
Says the one who can't survive without relying on me.
I can't consider someone who doesn't even take care of their sick wife and child as family.
Oh, really? Then live without relying on me. I'm so pissed off, I won't come home tonight. You two are sick. I don't want to catch it. I'll stay at a hotel.
Then I won't do the house chores anymore. You live without relying on me too.
Ivy, I haven't seen you around lately. What are you doing? Stop slacking off on the house chores.
Is that all you've got to say after finally getting in touch? You're not worried about the high fever I had?
If you wanted me to worry, you should do your own job properly. Where did you go? You're able to go out and have fun even though you're skipping chores because of a cold. Being a housewife is indeed quite a privilege.
You should be the one to stop it.
What's with your tone?
Aaron! Your wife and child are gone.
What? Who are you?
I'm your mother.
Mom? You're lying, right?
No, it's true.
What do you mean Ivy and Anne are gone?
You left a seriously ill Ivy and went out to have fun, didn't you? Afterwards, I got a call from Ivy and I quickly took her to the hospital. Both of them were admitted immediately.
Then both of them are fine, right? Ivy and Anne are alive, right?
It's your fault for leaving them alone.
Enough with that. Don't joke around with such a stupid lie. They're fine, right?
If you have the energy to get mad, why didn't you go to them immediately? Ivy and Anne are alive. But they were really in a dangerous situation. If we had taken them to the hospital any later, we wouldn't know what would have happened.
It was just a cold. It's impossible to lose a life because of it.
Ivy was already in pretty bad shape. She didn't have any energy left due to lack of sleep. When I arrived at your place, you were passed out, you know? Ivy was down, and because of that, Anne hadn't been fed for quite some time. If I hadn't received the call, it could have been the worst-case scenario. You don't understand it at all. And yet, you left them alone. I think you've done something unimaginable as a human being.
Are Ivy and Anne still in the hospital? Or are they back home?
Sorry, I can't tell you. Wait until you hear from Ivy.
Why isn't Ivy contacting me? If you're texting from Ivy's phone, she's there, right? For her aunt.
Ivy's still not feeling well and doesn't have the energy to deal with you. If you think you did something wrong, wait and accept whatever you're told. Reflect on what you've done to Ivy so far.
Ivy, please come back. We're not done talking.
I've understood your feelings.
You don't understand a thing. Just when I thought you were coming home, you handed me the divorce papers and left the house. Isn't that a bit selfish?
You understand why I want a divorce, right?
It's because I didn't take care of you and Anne.
That was just the last straw. I've been thinking about this since Anne was born. Why don't you help with raising the child? You didn't even help with the household chores. I was worn out after giving birth and you were entirely uncooperative.
Well, I had work too.
You could have helped with childcare and housework on weekends, couldn't you? Yet you left it all to me because I'm a stay-at-home mom. Sorry, but I can't raise a child with someone who can't cooperate.
Wait a minute. Let me apologize first.
Even if you apologize now, I don't feel like forgiving you.
Ivy, I'm sorry. I heard from my mother and I realized that I've been an idiot.
I saw the messages. You didn't even worry. You told me to stop slacking off on housework.
That's because I didn't know that you and Anne were in the hospital.
Even if we weren't hospitalized, I wouldn't have forgiven you. I shuddered when I thought about what could happen if we get sick again. Who needs a husband or a father who won't help when you're in trouble?
I was thoughtless. I took it lightly, thinking it was just a cold, just a fever.
People can die from a fever, you know. There can also be lasting complications.
I'm sorry. I'll take proper responsibility in parenting from now on, so I'm asking for just one more chance.
You've had more than 3 months of chances already. It's strange that you only noticed when I mentioned divorce. I've told you countless times. I've asked for help with the housework and child-rearing. And yet, Aaron, you never lifted a finger. It's your fault.
I was taking Ivy for granted. After that, I had a talk with my mom about how hard parenting really is, and I truly regretted my behavior.
Did you really reflect on your actions? I couldn't see it that way. You had said you would attend the discussion today, yet the house was a total mess. If you had really reflected, I thought at least you'd have done some cleaning. It wasn't an environment for me and Anne to come back to, was it?
I was busy and fell asleep.
But you had the whole weekend, didn't you? In the end, nothing has changed. You just assumed I would come back anyway, didn't you? And that's why you left the house in such a state. You thought you'd let me clean up after I came back, right?
No, I thought we could do it together.
See, that's precisely what I can't stand. If you really feel sorry, at least you'd have done some cleaning. In the end, your apologies are just empty words. I know that even if I came back, I'd be the one doing all the housework and parenting.
I'll do my part. Please, Ivy, come back. I do really care about you and Anne.
If we really mattered to you, you wouldn't have left us when we had a high fever.
I thought it was just a cold.
It's impossible to continue with someone who leaves his family in distress and doesn't come home. It's not about it being just a cold. I can't forgive you for doing nothing when we were asking for help, especially since Anne was just a baby.
I'm sorry, I'm truly sorry, but it's cruel to divorce when Anne has just been born. I want to live with Anne. I want to be involved in her life as a father.
We don't need a father who doesn't care about his child. Can you stop making me repeat myself?
But being a single mother is tough. Ivy, you said you didn't want to re-enter the workforce for a while, right? You wanted to be with our child as much as possible when she is small. If we don't divorce, you can stay at home, right?
I'm going to get child support from you. My parents and your mother will support us until Anne turns 3, so we'll be fine.
But it's so tough to raise a child alone.
You said so yourself. I know there are people out there who raise children on their own. I'm prepared for that now.
I'm sorry. I truly intend to change from here on out.
You don't have to do anything for me anymore. But if you have any sense of responsibility as a father to Anne, don't cut her out.
So, you're saying we're getting divorced? I really regret everything. I'm trying to change.
I don't have any trust or love left for you.
I can't live without you and Anne. I keep going because you and Anne are here with me. Please, don't abandon me.
You were the one who abandoned us first. You're the one who told me not to rely on you. Don't expect me to forgive you now. You really do have a spoiled way of thinking. We've had several discussions about divorce since then. We've agreed to separate for 1 year now. Despite the awful things he's done, he's still our daughter's father. I thought it wouldn't matter if he had no relationship with me anymore. But if he has any responsibility as a father, I want him to face our daughter sincerely. Of course we plan to divorce after a year. but we've decided to give him a chance as a father. Ever since we separated, my husband visits our home every day and takes care of Anne. He's honestly more like a father now than when we were living together. That doesn't mean I'm ready to forgive what he's done and said. I know there will be more difficulties ahead, but I want to establish a solid foundation for life now. I intend to create an environment where I can raise my daughter on my own. And if I ever feel it's too hard to do it alone, I'll ask my parents and my mother-in-law for support. I'll make sure to take good care of my daughter so she doesn't feel lonely. I'm sure my relationship with my husband will never go back to the way it was. But as a father, as a mother, I want to give everything I can as a parent to our daughter with all my heart.
Hey, Teresa. Have you finally found a place to live yet? Or are you still mooching off Mom and Dad? I'm only asking because I'm planning to bring Philip to meet Mom and Dad next week. I was really hoping you'd be out when we came so there wouldn't be any awkwardness. How come you haven't found a place yet? Mom and Dad are getting really uncomfortable with you still being there. Ugh, I know. I'm gonna leave as soon as I can, but it's not that easy. And I'm still having trouble wrapping my head around everything that's happened. Now, what do you mean? Wrapping your head around what? To start with, how about that you, my own baby sister, stole my fiancé from me? Or how about all the horrible things you accused me of doing to make me out to be the villain and justify what you did? I'm just still in shock over everything. Oh, please, get over it already. You're getting treated like a villain because you are the villain here. Only someone who knows that they've done something wrong complains about being called out on it. That makes no sense at all, Abriel. What are you even talking about? I make perfect sense. I didn't force Philip to fall in love with me. It just happened. What was I supposed to do? You're so mean to him and nagging all the time about responsibility and other boring things. It's no wonder he didn't really want to marry you. Of course it's all your fault. You may have everyone else fooled, but of all people, you can't fool me. You threw yourself down the stairs and then told everyone that I pushed you, even though I was nowhere near you at the time. All I did was tell the truth. I sprained my ankle really bad in that fall. It's pretty heartless of you not to care at all. Of course I care, but it was your own carelessness that made you fall. And then you took advantage of the fact that there was no one around to see to blame it on me. I don't understand how Mom and Dad can believe such an obvious lie. And somehow you were able to use it to paint me as this horrible person and steal Philip from me too. I did not. Philip was already mine by then. He loves me, so of course he was on my side. Is there anything else you need me to explain to you? It seems like you don't have anyone left to be on your side. It would be best if you just disappeared now, okay? No, believe me, I understand that. Not one person is willing to see you for who you really are. You know what? I'm done with this. I've been dragging my feet on moving because I was hoping someone would wake up and realize what's going on. But I guess that's not going to happen. I'll be out of the house today. I can't handle being around any of you anymore. Finally! You've made it perfectly clear. There is not one person that I can rely on in my own family. No one can see the truth even when it's right in front of them. Ugh, excuse me? That's awfully rude of you. You pushed me down the stairs. They are only treating you as you deserve. You can say whatever you want at this point. I'll soon be gone, so nothing you say matters to me anymore. Feel free to say anything your crazy mind comes up with. I'm packing my stuff up now, so leave me alone. Hey, are you finally gone yet? I made an appointment with an apartment manager to view an apartment. Okay, good. You should be out really soon then. It won't take you long to pack, right? It's not like you have anything of value to pack. I have already packed up everything I need to take with me. Thanks to someone sneaking into my room and stealing a bunch of my stuff. What? I did not. I didn't steal anything. I only took what you said I could have. It's your fault for buying clothes and stuff that don't look good on you. I'm way prettier than you, so it makes sense that I take it all off your hands.
I said someone stole from me. I never accused you of anything.
Oh,
Thank you for the confirmation, though. I doubt it'll change anything, but at least I have proof of your theft.
oh my god! Ugh! You are so annoying! Just get out already!
I'm leaving now.
Good. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with you anymore. Finally, nothing is in my way.
Oh, one more thing, Gabriel. Philip has blocked my number, so I need you to deliver a message for me.
What?
If he doesn't return the $3,000 that he borrowed from me by the end of the month, I'll take him to court over it.
What? What? $3,000?
Oh, he knows how to get the money to me already, so if you could just give him that message, that would be great. Thanks. If he has any questions, he can send them through you or unblock me and ask for himself.
That's ridiculous. Why would he borrow money from you? He works at a major company and makes good money. You barely make enough to live on. There's no way this is true. You're making stuff up because you don't want to let him go.
I'm not, and I can prove it. I have a written promise from him to pay it back.
Yeah, whatever. You don't have anything.
Look, I honestly don't care whether you believe me or not. Just give him the message, okay? I'm sure he'll tell you why he borrowed money from me if you ask him.
I'm not telling him anything. Just stop. This isn't a funny joke. It just makes you look desperate and pathetic.
Whatever. It's up to you. I'm leaving now. I really hope I never have to return to this place again. Goodbye, Gabriel.
Teresa, guess what? I have some amazing news. Philip asked me to marry him. It's okay to reply.
You don't have to ignore me.
It was so romantic.
He proposed while we were walking together on the beach. The sun was going down and, it was just so perfect. It was the sweetest thing ever.
Oh, congratulations. Oh, we've already started talking about the wedding. We're planning on a budget of around $50,000?
Maybe a bit more when all is said and done.
Really? I wouldn't get your hopes up on that. That's a lot of money. Oh, please, you're just jealous.
No, I just know that he doesn't have the kind of money, and neither does our family.
Oh, come on, don't be like that. Stop being such a downer. I know what your negative attitude is really about. Who cares that he has to borrow some money from you before? That's over now, and his financial situation is very different than it was then. Besides, he told me he paid you back a few days after I gave him your message.
Oh, did he? Well, I appreciate that you passed along the message.
He told me that he only had to borrow from you in the first place because a few unexpected expenses came up. It's pretty cruel of you to hold it over him like you did. It just reveals how self-righteous you really are when you do things like that.
That's not what happened at all. Look, Gabriel, all I want is a clean break between me and the two of you, and I almost had that.
I don't understand why you felt the need to come bragging to me about how happy the two of you are. You've won. Just leave me alone. Oh, well, excuse me for assuming you'd want some time to prepare yourself for the wedding. I guess you'd prefer to just get blindsided by the wedding invitation? Are you serious right now? After all that's happened, I thought I would be the last person you'd want to invite to your wedding. Of course I want you there. We are a family. I wasn't trying to brag about anything. I just wanted to share the news with my big sister. I didn't want there to be any drama if you found out from someone else, so I thought I'd tell you myself.
I wouldn't have started any drama regardless of how I found out. I told you, I just want to move on and heal from all of this.
Okay, fine. Be that way.
Did you need anything else?
Well, no, I guess not.
I have to get back to work.
Oh my god, really? It's Saturday. Why are you working? Are you so poor that you had to get a side gig or something? No wonder you demanded that Philip give you the money.
I changed careers and entered the hospitality industry. Weekends are just another day for me now.
Oh, I didn't know you changed careers.
Thanks to you, I'm actually making pretty good money now. The pay here is higher than where I was working before, and I don't have to pay anything to our parents or help Philip out anymore.
What do you mean, thanks to me?
Isn't it obvious? If you hadn't betrayed me, I wouldn't be where I am now. I don't think there's anything else to do or say at this point. Bye.
Teresa! Answer your phone! I need you!
Jesus, what do you want? I can't really talk, I'm at work right now.
Are you ready to congratulate me?
To congratulate you? For what? Is your wedding coming soon? I already congratulated you for that.
Yes, it's next Sunday. You did congratulate me when I told you that Philip proposed, but I wanted to talk to you about your wedding gift to us. We're sisters, so $50,000 would be the right amount to give us, I think.
I'm sorry, what now? Are you seriously asking me to give you $50,000? Have you lost your mind?
Well, you're my big sister. You should want to help me in any way you can. You can't put a price tag on how much sisters mean to each other.
Wow, I don't even know where to begin with all of that. But I think I know what's going on here. You finally realized the financial situation that you're in, didn't you? You can't pay the costs for the big, expensive wedding you want, so you expect someone else to hand over the cash.
No, it's not that.
You're broke. Just admit it.
That's not true. I have a little money.
No, you refuse to work anything other than a part-time job, so you don't make very much. And what you do make, you like to spend on useless stuff and going out rather than even trying to save. On top of that, Mom and Dad are probably still giving you spending money whenever you ask, even though they really aren't in a position to do that. So you haven't had any reason to ever try and save any money whatsoever, have you? And sure, Philip works for a big company, so you probably thought you could rely on him for some money. But he's only on a temporary contract. That won't last forever.
Ugh, how do you know that?
Because I was engaged to him first. There's nothing about him that I don't already know. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that you just found out that temporary employees make a lot less than full employees. That's why you're suddenly scrambling for money days before your wedding. The reason he had to borrow money from me was that he got laid off from a temporary job when the company downsized. He needed help just making ends meet until he got his next temp job assignment. I didn't expect him to be able to pay me back all at once like he did after I told you about the debt. I wonder where he borrowed the money from to make that happen.
He said he had the money and he'd just forgotten to pay you back until I said something.
Sure he did. Anyways, back to all this about giving you money to pay for your wedding. You went into this assuming that he was going to pay for everything. But he was under the impression that our parents would pay for it since they make a point of appearing to have money even though they don't really. That's about how it went, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but it's not my fault. I didn't know that Philip was only a temp. I thought he had a really good salary as a full-time employee, so I never doubted that he would be able to take care of it. You are more to blame than I am. Why didn't you tell me if you knew he wasn't making that much? I had no idea. I feel so...
I told you about it when I was engaged to him. And you and I have some friends in common, so I'm sure they mentioned it at some point. No one tried to hide it from you. You just didn't want to hear about it because it was inconvenient. I know I mentioned it to Mom and Dad, and I'm pretty sure you were there too. I told you guys about how he decided not to get married until he was offered a full-time position. But I guess you weren't listening because you were already making plans to stab me in the back.
Ugh! You still should have told me! It doesn't matter that he chose me over you. How could you just let me think he had a high-paying job when that's not the case? That's basically the same as robbing me. I didn't know I was with someone so poor that he couldn't even afford a proper wedding.
You're a grown woman. Do you really need your big sister to treat you like a child and tell you every little thing? Neither me nor Philip ever made his job status a secret. If you really didn't know, it's because you weren't paying attention. Hey, you're really going to try and blame me. Why are you being so mean? If the two of you didn't have a conversation about this before now, that's a problem for the two of you. Not me, not mom and dad, no one. Just you. And you're the one that stole him from me in the first place. Anything having to do with Philip became your problem when you did that. At that point, his problems were no longer any of my responsibility. That doesn't change anything. And on top of that, you accused me of pushing you down the stairs and made me out to be a criminal. I was forced to move out because of you. There's no point in trying to point the finger at me. This is 100% your own fault. No, it isn't. You are to blame too. In case it wasn't clear enough, I will not be giving you any money. Not for your wedding or any other reason. No, Teresa, please. I'm your sister. You should want to help me out. Even if I wanted to, I don't have that kind of money to throw around. Please, I'll do anything. If we can't pay for it by Sunday, the wedding will have to be canceled. We've already invited so many people. And it would be so embarrassing to have to cancel at the last minute. Besides, I don't even have enough money for the cancellation fee if it came to that. We have nothing. Please help me just this once. You never have to hear from me again if you don't want to. If you help me, I'll be a better sister. I promise I'll be there for you always. Oh, please, Teresa! After our last conversation, Abriel continued to call and message me, even enlisting our parents and Philip to do the same. Abriel argued that I shouldn't hold a grudge against her and should help her with the wedding expenses. Philip even suggested that we get back together, but in the same conversation, he had the audacity to ask me for money. My parents asked me to come back home, but they also asked for money, so I don't believe their intentions were sincere. Since switching to working in the hospitality industry, I've been making more money. However, it still wasn't enough to give Abriel what she demanded, even if I wanted to. I ended up changing my phone number because they refused to stop harassing me for money. A friend of mine who's still friends with Philip told me that he was cut off from his family when they found out what happened. They didn't like the idea of him trying to squeeze money out of someone through marriage. In the end, I'm glad that I didn't end up marrying him and being forced to rely on him for the rest of my life. I heard that they were only able to pay for half of the cancellation fee for the wedding. My parents ended up having to sell their house for almost nothing because they couldn't keep up with it anymore. My parents and sister moved into an apartment together, but they fight almost every day. The neighbors are constantly complaining about them, so there's a chance they'll be forced to move again. Good riddance.